What's up, team? Fullest, this is again Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my canal. So in today's video, I'm here again to make plantain and cassava fufu. So this is the sauce that I am going to be using. That is banga soup, and I want to make some fufu using cassava and plantain. So this is the fermented fufu. Fermented cassava fufu. You can get this at any African store. So I didn't have the fresh cassava at home, so I normally sometimes buy the fermented fufu and just keep it for the days that I don't have cassava, and I will mix that with the plantain and make fufu. The only thing about this fermented fufu where I like to go in, as you guys can see, I'm trying to shifter it to make it a bit smaller, because sometimes it does have some of this vein in it, and I don't like it. So that's why I like to go through this process. So this process, you're just gonna try to like shifter it and get the softer fufu out, and by the ending of doing this, you guys are gonna see the harder part, the vein, the stick, some of the things which I don't really like when I make fufu. When I'm eating fufu and I kind of get some of the vein in the fufu, I don't like it. So that's why I go through this process. You can blend the cassava if you want to make it more smoother, but I just like to do it like this to get rid of any vein from entering the fufu. So you're gonna add a little bit of water, but you gotta watch the water weight, because making cassava for itself is very, very thick, So adding a little bit of water wouldn't be a problem. So as you guys can see, after a few minutes of mixing, you guys can see that is the rest that I do not like, when that one is in the cassava when I'm making my fufu. So I like to go through this process to make sure I get rid of all those veins, all those unwanted veins in there. So you guys can see I'm just going to squeeze it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw that one away, because I don't like this one inside the fufu. You can either blend it or go through that process. So now that I've gotten the cassava ready, now I'm going to blend the plantain. I'm also going to add a little bit of water into the plantain mixture, so that it's a bit easier. It makes it a little bit easier and simple. Not a lot of water, just a little bit of water go a long way. You don't need to put too much, so at least just that the plantain have something to make the blending process a bit softer. So I also like to cut my cassava into tiny pieces, just also to help the process of the blending, because if you just like put the whole plantain into the blender, it makes the blending process take a little bit of time. But if you just cut it into tiny pieces, and it makes the process more softer. So what I like to do, I'll put the plantain and then blend it, and then when it's a bit softer, I will add more and more plantain, because I find that process a bit easier than you putting all the plantain and then later blending is going to be a struggle. So yeah, I just like to put it smaller and smaller and blend it. So now I blend everything. I'm going to mix it with the cassava. As you guys can see, two different colors. The cassava is white and the plantain is a little bit on the yellow side. So I'm just gonna put the cassava, the plantain with the cassava, mix it together. And yeah, I like to go in with a little bit of salt. Some people don't like to add salt. That's just personal choice. After removing all the plantain from the blender, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt, and then on the gas, and you're gonna start mixing. Like I always say, making fufu, it's a delicious food to eat, but the process of making fufu, it's not an easy one. But it's one of my favorite food, and I love eating it. And it's something that I also don't have issue with eating all the time, because if I'm eating fufu, like, I eat very fast, but compared to when I'm eating rice, I can sit down to eat rice forever. But with fufu, it's just swallow, and it takes a little bit it's more faster. So now I've added my salt. I'm just going to keep mixing. With this process, you just gotta keep mixing, mixing. Just keep mixing, and as time goes, you guys will see that the plantain is getting, the fufu is getting a little bit thicker. The plantain and cassava is mixing. Everything is just emerging, and it will get thicker and thicker. And yeah, you just have to keep mixing. So you guys can see it's already starts forming. It gets a little bit more thicker. So I'm just gonna keep on mixing till I get the what I'm looking for. So this is not like the finished result, but we're getting there. This is the challenging part. When the fufu like reach this part, it's a bit challenging. So you just gotta keep mixing and mixing and mixing. You're gonna keep mixing. So I'm gonna keep mixing it for a while, and then I'm gonna also allow it to steam. You're gonna dull the gas, and then I like to allow it to steam. Make sure you dull the gas, sprinkle a bit of water, allow it to steam for, I think I like to leave it for at least 5 to 10 minutes on a lower gas. Just lower the gas. Don't put it too high, because if you put it too high, it might get burned. So I just like to leave the gas a little bit lower because of the cassava. The plantain is already cooked, but cassava takes a little bit longer for it to cook. So that's the reason why I like to allow it to steam. Some people prefer to first cook the cassava and then blend it and make fufu. That's also a very easy process. I've never tried that kind of process. For me, I've always tried it this way, and I just like it. So after leaving it for steam for a couple of minutes, as you guys can see, the color have changed. The cassava is also cooked with the plantain together, so everything is looking good. So now I'm just going to mix it, and after mixing it, I'm just going to wrap it and dish the food. And yeah, it's time to eat. So this is it. This is how you make your fufu. Team Fullest, I hope you all like this video. I'm just tasting it to see how it's tasting. The sauce is ready, and I'm just gonna mix it for a couple of minutes more. Just mix everything so that everything is mixed properly, and then I'm just going to dish the food. So this is how you make fufu. This is how you make fufu, cassava and plantain fufu. Very, very simple. It's very simple. A little bit of muscle work, but yeah, this is the finished result. Hope you all like this video. If you do, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, my Facebook like page. All the links will be down in the description box. Team Fullest, thank you all so much for your love and support. Heel erg bedankt voor je liefde en ondersteuning. And hope jullie zo snel mogelijk te zien. Hope to see you guys very soon. And let me know what you think about my fufu and cassava and plantain recipe. I really like this too. I really love these two together. It tastes really good. The plantain just make the fufu taste a little bit sweeter, especially when the plantain is very, very ripe. It just tastes sweet, and I just like it. And this is my banga soup. Sometimes I just like to cook soups and put them in the freezer. And the day I don't feel like cooking, I'll just take a soup out and make something. So today is one of those days that I was like, you know what, let me just get some sauce from the fridge, allow it to cool down, and then we can either eat it with rice or fufu or any other thing else. So yeah, life's easy. So this is it. Simple as. See you all on my next video. And if you guys have any other recipe that you guys want me to share with you, let me know in the comment box. Peace out. Doeg.